The announcement echoed through the terminal. Now boarding group A for flight 237 to Dallas. People began to stand. Suitcases rolled across the shiny floor. A businessman closed his laptop. A tired mother lifted her sleepy toddler. An older couple slowly walked toward the gate, holding hands. Everything looked normal.
Calm, routine, safe.
I should have felt the same. Instead, my chest felt tight, like something inside me was whispering that today wasn't normal. My name is Zunri. I was 34 years old, married for 3 years, and until that morning, I believed my life was perfect. My husband Marcus was the kind of man people admired instantly.
Tall.
Confident. Successful. He owned a growing architecture firm downtown. He designed modern homes for wealthy clients. Magazines had featured his work. My friends loved him. My sisters were impressed by him. Even my parents said I had married a man who knew how to build a life. And Marcus acted like the perfect husband. Every morning, he made coffee. Every Sunday, he cooked breakfast. Every anniversary, he surprised me with flowers. Sometimes he would send random messages during the day. I miss you already. Thinking about you. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. I believed every word. That Tuesday morning had started the same way. Marcus kissed my forehead as I grabbed my suitcase. Text me when you land, he said. I will. 3 days is too long without you. I laughed. You'll survive. He pulled me closer. Barely. Then he handed me my travel mug. Coffee. Exactly the way I liked it.
Vanilla. No sugar.
Small details. That's how love shows itself. Or, at least, that's what I thought. The airport was busy. Business travelers. Vacation families. Students with backpacks. Normal life moving in every direction. My flight was boarding soon. Dallas. 3 days of meetings. Then back home to Marcus. Back to my normal life. I checked my boarding pass.
Gate B17.
Everything on schedule. Then my phone rang. I almost ignored it. The caller ID made no sense.
Elena.
Our housekeeper. For 2 years, she had cleaned our house every weekday. She arrived at 9, left at 1. Quiet. Professional. We barely spoke beyond small, polite conversations. She had never called me. Not once. But something about the timing made my stomach tighten. So I answered, Hello. For a moment, there was silence. Then I heard breathing.
Fast breathing.
Zunri. Her voice sounded different.
Shaky. Urgent.
Yes. Listen carefully.
A pause.
Then she whispered something that froze my blood. Do not get on that plane. I blinked. What? Leave the gate. Right now. People behind me moved forward in the boarding line. The airline agent smiled politely. Next passenger, please. Elena, what are you talking about? I found something. Her voice trembled. Something about Marcus. My heart skipped. What about Marcus? Please trust me. What did you find? A long silence. Then she whispered the words that changed everything. You are not safe with him. The sentence felt impossible. Marcus? Dangerous?
No.
That didn't make sense. My husband remembered to warm my car in winter. He held my hand when we crossed the street. He kissed my forehead every night before bed. Elena, I said slowly, you must be misunderstanding something. Zunri, please. Her voice cracked. I found insurance documents. My grip tightened around my phone. So, 5 policies. Another pause. On your life. My heart skipped. How much? $15 million. The boarding line was nearly empty now. Final boarding for flight 237. My chest tightened. I also found emails. My voice dropped. What kind of emails? With someone named Victor. Who is Victor? Another silence. Then she whispered, a mechanic. Cold fear spread through my body. Why would Marcus be emailing a mechanic? Her answer came slowly. About your flight. The world seemed to tilt. What? Zunri, he thinks you're on that plane right now. I stopped breathing.
Why?
Then Elena said the sentence that shattered my life. Because he believes you won't survive it. The boarding door began to close. The airline agent looked at me.
Mang?
Are you boarding? My heart pounded. Marcus, my husband, the man I trusted with my life. The man who kissed me goodbye that morning was planning my death. The boarding door closed, and I stepped away from the gate. A decision that saved my life. The taxi ride back from the airport felt unreal. The city outside the window looked the same. Traffic lights changing. People walking on sidewalks. Cars stopping and starting. Normal life. But inside my head, nothing was normal anymore. My heart kept beating too fast. Marcus, the man I had trusted with everything. The man I believed loved me. Elena had said he planned my death. It sounded insane, but the fear in her voice had not been fake. When the taxi finally stopped in front of her house, Elena was already standing on the porch. She looked like she hadn't slept in days. Her hands were shaking. When she saw me step out of the car, relief washed over her face. You came back, she said quietly. Tell me everything, I said. She nodded. Inside the kitchen, the table was covered with papers, folders, printouts, documents. My stomach tightened immediately. Elena slowly pushed the first folder toward me. Start with this. I opened it. The first page was an insurance document. Life insurance policy.
Însuret Zumri Hale. Beneficiari Marcus Hale.
Coverage, $3 million. I frowned. Marcus mentioned life insurance once. I said slowly. That's normal. Elena didn't say anything. She only pointed to the next paper. Another policy. 3 million. Another company. Another date. Another signature. Then another. Then another. 5 policies total. $15 million. All on my life. All taken out within the last year. My hands began to tremble. Elena, this has to be a mistake. She slowly opened another folder. Inside were printed emails. Marcus's email address at the top. The other sender was someone named Victor Morales. The subject line made my chest tighten. Aircraft access confirmation. I stared at the screen printout. Victor wrote, Payment received. I'll handle the engine inspection window. No one will notice anything until mid-flight. My stomach dropped. I kept reading. Marcus had replied only 2 words. Good. Proceed. I couldn't breathe. Elena, this can't be real. Her voice was barely above a whisper. There's more. She slid another stack toward me. Photographs. At first, I didn't understand what I was looking at. A wedding photo. Marcus standing beside a woman I had never seen before. They were cutting a cake.
Smiling. Happy.
Who is this? I asked. Elena said quietly, Marcus's first wife. My throat went dry. She died 6 years ago. I turned the next page. Another woman. Another wedding photo. Different church. Different dress. Marcus looked younger, but unmistakably the same. Second wife. Elena said. She died in a car accident. Another folder. Another woman. Third marriage. Third funeral photo clipped from a newspaper. Local architect's wife dies in tragic boating accident. My hands went numb. She nodded slowly. I started noticing things months ago. What things? Late phone calls. Strange visitors. Financial papers left in his office. She looked down. I got curious. You went through his files? I was worried about you. My heart pounded. So you investigated my husband? She met my eyes. Yes. The room felt smaller. Marcus had been married 3 times before me. 3 wives. 3 deaths. 3 insurance payouts. And now me, the 4th. The one who was supposed to die in a plane crash. How long have you known? I whispered. 2 weeks. Why didn't you tell me sooner? I needed proof. Her voice trembled. I didn't want to accuse him without evidence. She pointed at the emails again. Yesterday, I found those. I sank into the chair. My entire marriage suddenly felt like a lie. Every smile, every kiss, every I love you. All fake. All part of a plan.
Anna,
Yes. What do we do now? She hesitated. Then she said something that made my heart race again. We go to the police. I looked at the documents covering the table. Insurance policies, emails, photos of 3 dead women, evidence of a man who had been getting away with murder for years. Marcus believed I was on that plane right now. He believed I would never come back, which meant he would be completely unprepared for what came next. For the first time since the phone call, I felt something different than fear. Determination. Marcus had planned my death. Now I was going to end his freedom, and he would never see it coming. The police station smelled like old coffee and paperwork. Detective Morrison listened without interrupting. The kitchen table evidence was now spread across his desk. Insurance policies, emails, photographs, bank transfers. He studied each page carefully. Then he looked at me. Does your husband think you're on that plane right now? I nodded. Yes. The detective leaned back in his chair. That's good.
good, I asked.
He believes the plan worked, Morrison said, which means he won't be careful tonight. My stomach twisted. You think he'll try to collect the insurance immediately? Maybe not tonight, the detective replied, but he'll start preparing. He looked at the printed email from the mechanic. We already know who Victor Morales is. You do. Small-time criminal. Greedy. Not very loyal. The detective stood up and picked up the phone. Let's see how loyal he is under pressure. 2 hours later, everything moved fast. Victor Morales was arrested first. He didn't last long. The moment detectives showed him the evidence, he started talking. Marcus had paid him $200,000. His job had been simple. Access the aircraft during routine ground inspection. Create a hidden engine fault. Something that wouldn't show until the plane was already in the air. Something that would look like a tragic accident. Victor admitted everything, and he told the police exactly where Marcus was. At home, waiting. That evening, police cars surrounded my house. The same house Marcus and I had shared for 3 years. The same house where we had laughed, cooked dinner, planned our future. From inside the police car, I watched the front door. Lights were on. Marcus was home. He thought I was dead. Detective Morrison spoke quietly beside me. You don't have to be here for this. I want to be. The officers moved toward the door. 3 sharp knocks. The door opened. Marcus stepped into the doorway wearing a gray sweater. His expression was confused. Then police badges flashed. Marcus Hale. One officer said firmly, "You're under arrest for conspiracy to commit murder." Marcus froze. What? The officers grabbed his arms. You have the right to remain silent. His voice suddenly rose. This is insane.
What are you talking about?
Then his eyes moved past the officers. Toward the police car. Toward me, standing beside Detective Morrison.
Alive.
For the first time since I met him, Marcus looked afraid. Real fear. His face drained of color. That's impossible, he whispered. I stepped closer.
Surprise.
The officers pushed him into the police car. He kept staring at me like he was looking at a ghost. The man who had planned my death could not understand why I was still breathing. The trial lasted 8 months. Investigators uncovered everything. 3 wives, 3 suspicious deaths, millions of dollars in insurance payouts. Victor Morales testified. Bank records were traced. Insurance companies confirmed the policies. Marcus's perfect life collapsed piece by piece. In the courtroom, he looked smaller than I remembered, less confident, less powerful. When I testified, he didn't look at me, not once. The jury deliberated for 6 hours. Then they returned. The courtroom fell silent. The judge read the verdict.
Guilty.
3 counts of murder. 1 count of attempted murder. Marcus Hale was sentenced to 3 consecutive life sentences. He will never leave prison. Ever. 6 months later, I sold the house. Every room carried memories I no longer wanted. But I didn't start over alone. Elena stayed with me. The quiet woman who once cleaned my house had become the woman who saved my life. We moved to a small city near the coast. A peaceful place. Quiet streets. Ocean air. Together we started something new. A small foundation for women trapped in dangerous marriages. Women who suspected something was wrong but didn't know how to prove it. Women who needed someone to believe them, just like Elena believed in me. Sometimes I still think about that morning at the airport. The boarding call, the line moving forward, the gate closing. If I had ignored that phone call, I would have boarded the plane. I would have trusted my husband, and somewhere in the sky, my story would have ended. But one woman noticed something strange. One woman paid attention. One woman picked up the phone. And because of that call, I am still alive today.